Nel mezzo del cammin di nostra vita mi ritrovai nell'unselva scura che la diritta via era smarrita. It's Tippy again from Inner Alchemist, and those are the opening lines of a very famous poem, one of the most famous poems in history, Dante's Divine Comedy. And to loosely translate them into English, it means, in the middle of the journey of our lives, I find myself lost in a dark woods in which the direct path is gone. I don't know about you, but I have felt lost and in dark places many, many times in my life. And to be honest, my question wasn't about where is the direct path, but is there a path at all through this mess? Maybe you can relate to that. But it did get me thinking about the fact that the Divine Comedy has these three different parts: hell, purgatory, and paradise. And called the Divine Comedy, even though there's not one single joke in the whole thing, though I believe he called it a comedy because though it doesn't start well, it ends well. It ends with paradise. But it got me thinking about how do we deal with these dark spaces in our lives, which aren't funny as we're going through them and don't seem divine in the least. But one book that has also deeply affected me is Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. Viktor Frankl was a Holocaust survivor whose book focuses on the message that no matter what kind of hell we're going through, no matter what difficult times we're going through, the one thing that can never be taken away from us is our ability to find meaning and purpose in whatever it is that we're experiencing. I find that very reassuring to know that nobody can take that from me. And that combined with Dante's Divine Comedy and the recognition that there are going to be these different moments in our life. It's not always paradise. Thank God it's not always hell or purgatory either. And lastly, I have read many accounts of near-death survivors, and over again, they say that not only have they lost their fear of death, but they come back into life with a greater sense of joy. And they say repeatedly that they don't take themselves or the things that happen to them in their lives nearly as seriously. There's a much greater lightness of being. So I offer that to you, that if we were to look at everything in our lives at least some point down the road, recognizing that there may be a purpose, a value, a meaning in those times, we may not recognize them in the midst of the dark woods. And that to remember too that people that have passed through to the other side and have come back into life, they have found that it pays not to take anything so very seriously, to lighten up. I'm not saying you're going to look at things as a comedy, but to lighten up and to see it all as divine. I offer that to you in whatever space you might be holding today. I hope it helps. I'd love to hear from you. What has helped you get through the dark times in your life? Leave me a comment below.